word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Ffxiv.
You're an odd-looking here. Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes. You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last. The one I wanted at that. My journey was not hardships, and I would travel by land than sea again. Believe that so small a bark would bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set course and set my jade port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oar a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. For the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Gods, man, are you all right? Are indeed from home.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation Belsar's wall demands he forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Y'shtola confirmed presence of a private entity.
We must assume that Ilbert's damned god is indeed within. News of the Imperials. They're not like to ignore such spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observing an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Carno, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the wrath of Bahamut.
We could face an calamity. So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small how to get close enough to a that swats warships from the sky would a bothersome gnat.
Truly so complex? Or have you no work for the obvious solution?
What in the hell are you doing here?
And so kind as to explain to these people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of an agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting that. Although you already know how to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, that frail binding learned alike in strength to meet Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. Of course, of Omega.
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cat since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive to wake.
Sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultimate to full operational capacity. Luck would have it, I am graciously offering of my considerable expertise.
And what, you'd expect us to accept? Fool if you think your deeds are the crystal to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, God. All those years side by side, me sharing both triumph. We were human once, you and approach the problem rational. Does not the fact Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
Ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? If that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the primal in the manner we propose, then what would become of it? Do we not...
Omega is but a tool. To employ that tool is entirely us. Of course, if you would buried beneath Cartano, continue your petty squabble, then I suppose your choice.
Eros, Nero. His concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the god, power which led the Allegar to destroy themselves.
Did not fall to we engineers to such misuse. What was your company's program? Free technology?
A creed you've... What say you? Do we take this as word? As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like I have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility of reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we in this course of action?
Aye. To its... God show that we invest this the authority to enter and take command. Sid, I appoint you of the expedition. I would ask that you assign a few of your number to escort Mount Garland, and besides the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary...
Not mistaken. Doma is a similarly new. Might we not join the expedition, Lady Yugi? If you suspect any foul play from Nero, you're welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? Give me if I do not shake your hand. So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. Never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
Your leave!
Good God, that voice like Gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow. You always were a hard one to find.
Yuri, do you know this man?
Gossetu, why are you coming to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma. I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to settle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly. But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
Very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, practicality, might I suggest get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points and lead the Empire?
Empire! You, Giddy? You draw steel against curs of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to flop on the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
Where was that? Ah! Enable the teleporter. Brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology. I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but traitor Sid Garland? Searching for something in... something big? It's close, isn't it? All my name days at once.
Of all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tear around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say he'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Grosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
It's all over. Your defense is lacking.
Right to strike!
And opening. This one'll sting.
Tis my right to...
You watching, Pavaliro? Leave this to me. This one'll sting. holding back!
My right to strike!
You watching, Papa? And open.
With soul and steel!
Leave this to me. Holding back. No retreat, no surrender. It's all over now. Leave this to me. You watching, Papa? It's all out. And opening.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's what...
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. This have been set to scan for sources of energy and magnitudes.
I I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. To release Omega, we can be fairly certain we'll attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar War. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system, put it back to sleep.
And should the machine misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, less than half of that. So, my question to you, are we doing the right thing? What do I think? All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do!
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose. Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of...
It went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things. We will need to join the Scions out in the field, if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed.
Not of worry. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd Primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg causes no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was my dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by a mega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst? Have you spoken with her?
She was on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all.
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papillimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papillimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. She was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for miles and miles until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papillimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Amigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them. I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easy to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel did. Come, Shadow Walker. We leave for the Doma.